Hello, good morning. I'm Alison Small, CEO of Giant Finance Plus, and today I'm talking to Richard Foster, our Sales and Client Director.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
We're just going to have a chat about cash flow and hopefully give you some insights. But Rich, can you just start off with that? Obviously, cash flow is something that we help our clients with. And what would you say the key challenges for clients in organising their cash flow requirements?
Yeah, no problem at all. It's a good question. So I think when a recruitment business starts up, obviously finding the candidates and winning that first client is so important, amazing. You've got your first one on the board, and you might agree to extended payment terms or have agreed to something sort of slightly out of the ordinary, which means it's going to impact your cash flow. So you're paying a candidate on a weekly basis. That week one, you're probably able to find the funds, but as the weeks go on, maybe 10 weeks down the line, you probably don't have the cash flow in order to support those payments. So that's where a finance provider is obviously so important.
Okay, so helping speed up that cash flow.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And pay your candidates on time every time.
On time and every time, yeah. It's so important to keep the candidates happy, particularly in this current market.
Definitely, definitely. So we know people have quite a lot of choice. There's a plethora of financial organisations across the internet if you look. So how do you go about choosing the right partner?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You've got your invoice discounters, where they're just giving you money up front based on an upload of a value up to maybe 80% of an invoice. You've got factoring companies, and you've got ones like Giant Finance that do full back office and 100% finance. So you do need to know what's right for you. You need to think about what your company values are, and not just what you need on day one, but for the rest of your business and for growth of the business. So it's right to think about everything that you align with and try and find a partner that would work for you and align with those same beliefs and values.
And it's interesting you use the word partner, and I know that you and I talk about that a lot in terms of how we are with our clients. But what do you think partnership means for our clients?
So I think where we like to be different from other providers possibly is where it's not just a finance provider. We're not just processing data for you. We're working in a collaborative approach. We want to see ourselves as an extension of your business. And that's really important. I think that maybe if you are a small or medium-sized business, you've got that extension. So a credit control team, a payroll team to support you, people to ask questions and work with and make joint decisions. So maybe looking at credit limits, or should I trade with this client? Can you help me consider the risks here? Looking at growth, is this the right sector to be moving into? And then with all the legislative changes, obviously we've heard about national insurance increases this week. What does that mean to my business? Do you have any advice? What are your other clients doing? And we can do that. And that's how we like to grow with our clients and retain them for the long term.
So really great points there. And really, it's systems and service and advice and compliance alongside it. So it's easy probably just to go sometimes look at the system or the service, but actually it's combining the two that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely right. The whole package is really what's the most important thing.
And I suppose that comes on to what do you think is the biggest risk or the biggest problem that people encounter in making that kind of really all important finance decision? And I suppose I'm thinking that it's a decision that sometimes has to be made quite quickly, but actually has very long-term implications. So what do you think?
That's right. All too often we see, Alison, where a company makes a short-term decision or maybe a long-term decision for a short-term issue, so addresses some quick cash flow, not really thinking at the time that right now I've committed to 18 months and actually there's all these restrictions in place. Don't be sold on a credit limit, for example, that solves a quick problem when you're not getting everything else you'd want from a finance partner. And really you're there now for the long term. So the devil's certainly in the detail. Make sure you are looking and really planning ahead.
Yeah. So I think, I think we wrote a paper on this, but business planning, preparing forecasts, even if it's just a very simple forecast to see what you want. And then also when you've checked out your options, kind of have a matrix so you can score people so that you're not making it just based on one thing, as you say, but you're actually making it for a long-term decision. So
what's important to you as a recruitment business? Not all are the same. Different sectors, different sizes will have different needs, and making sure you're taking those into consideration.
Great. So I suppose the message is cash flow's important. Cash is king.
Cash is king.
Whilst of course there's so many other things to think about in starting or growing a recruitment agency, it's really important to think about your cash flow. And if you want to talk to us about any of the things that we've chatted about today, yours and my email is on the next slide.
We'd love to speak to you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Alison.
Thank you. Thanks, Richard.
Thanks.